into the blue area of the moon, an area that for some reason you can breathe without a spacesuit. Nearly kills everyone around her just by yelling stop, while Tony Stark builds a magical transformer to attack the Phoenix.
There you go. Marvel's out of ideas.
There's only one scene with a gun. No one actually gets shot. Rebooted into a more grimy character with the New 52.
Welcome to yet another Comic POW video review. This time I'd like to look at Happy #2. Happy is a miniseries that Grant Morrison's writing with Derek Robertson as the artist. I picked it up because it sounded like a really interesting miniseries. It's only 4 issues, so it's not too much of a cost commitment. And it's about an ex-cop who's now killing mobsters for money to support his drinking and his other bad habits, and also for his eczema medication. Of course, leave it to someone like Grant Morrison to, take something that's, not out of the ordinary, a crooked cop or an ex-cop or whatever, noir style comic book, and then throw this weird ass twist as, he's also has eczema, which, just adds to his character, and a lot of people make fun of him for it, but it's just like a really weird extra thing. Basically, at the end of the last issue, the main character, Nick, saw this blue, Pegasus-style cartoon-looking horse that appeared to him and told him that he was in trouble because he was in a mob hospital and they were going to kill him because he had just done a hit on this very powerful gangster's sons, including one that wasn't supposed to be there but happened to join in. When this issue starts, the horse, Pegasus, named Happy, is trying to convince him to get a move on, that he needs to really get past these mobsters so he can go on to help this little girl. This little girl Happy is her imaginary friend. So it's a really weird premise, but I really enjoyed this issue. Sometimes Grant Morrison can be a little incomprehensible with his dialogue or his plots, but not in this one. This one's actually pretty straightforward. Perhaps because he's not drawing on all these, Silver Age and Golden Age references. He's just telling a straightforward story. And so basically, once Nick escapes from that, this blue horse, Happy, continues to try and convince him to go help this girl. And, Nick just thinks that he's incredibly high because the mobsters drugged him in order to take over him, to subdue him, make sure he wouldn't be able to fight back. And on top of that, he's also a drug addict and an alcoholic, so he's not sure that this horse is even real, even though Happy has been guiding him, which way to go to avoid things that are going on. He just thinks he's losing his mind. So in order to prove to himself that Happy's actually real, he goes to play a poker game, and he has Happy tell him the cards that everyone has so that he can cheat, and he can win at this poker game and get a whole bunch of money. And he promises Happy that he'll go help this little girl if he helps him win the poker game. And so right there, that tells you a lot of what you need to know about this series. It's really crazy, and there's a really weird premise. And so if this gets you interested, and whether or not Grant Morrison turns you on or off to the story, I think it's worth checking out. It's on Comixology, so if your comic shop is out of it, or if you want to read it for $1 cheaper, now that the first issue's passed, I recommend going back and reading the first issue and seeing if it if you like it. So now going on to spoilers, Nick decides to cheat. Basically, Happy helps him win, and then he takes off, and he wants to use the money to get out of town. And you know, the horse Happy keeps trying to tell him, hey, you got to go help this girl. She's going to grow up to be a doctor that cures eczema and all this stuff, and Nick doesn't want to hear any of it. And where this might just seem like a weird, almost Deadpool-like, story up till now with just this weird horse and all this stuff. When you get to the last page, and it shows who's kidnapped Happy's friend, the girl who Happy's an imaginary friend of, you realize the stakes are pretty high, and this actually could be a pretty brutal drama. I'd like to see exactly where Grant Morrison goes. So he's used up 2 of his 4 issues so far. The first one was set up, great issue, really got me into it. The second one, Happy proves that he's real, so that's one thing accomplished. And you got to see a lot of how Nick operates and what he does and stuff. But we're still left wondering, okay, how is he going to get to this girl? What is he going to do? How is he going to resolve the issue? What does it mean that he can see this horse? Is he actually going crazy? There's a lot of stuff left, and there's 2 issues left. Now, 2 issues, plenty for a story arc. Most comic book story arcs are somewhere between 3 and 5 issues. But Morrison really has me curious to see where he goes with the next issue. I'd give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. One last thing I'd like to say, this series is not at all for kids. It is very, very rated R, very mature. A lot of not just profanity, but very, like, the most profane words, and a lot of very disturbing things happen. So definitely, it's just for adults or kids that are very mature and able to handle this stuff. But let me know what you thought of the issue and what you thought of my review here on the YouTube comments, in the Comic Vine comics, or in the Comic POW comments if you happen to see it there. Thanks.